What is going on, everybody? It's the Front, and we're here for an AEW Rampage and SmackDown review for July the 15th, 2022. We are 1 week and a day away from Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor. That is coming to you next week. This, of course, was tonight, night 2 of week 1 of Fyter Fest. And, of course, SmackDown is working towards the pay-per-view SummerSlam, coming to you a week after Death Before Dishonor. Now, I said it before, I'll say it again. I can't wait to see Death Before Dishonor, especially with the world title match we just got announced tonight, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But I can wait for SummerSlam. SummerSlam, it's one of those things, it's like, it's coming, we have to watch it. It's like, It could be 6 months from now, and I still wouldn't it's SummerSlam, who cares? Death Before Dishonor definitely looks like that pay-per-view. If you're going to buy a pay-per-view this year, and you don't want to spend all the money on AEW, I know these ones I think this one's like $10 or $20 less than an AEW pay-per-view. Death Before Dishonor is definitely going to be worth watching. But we also had SmackDown tonight, which it was SmackDown. We had a Ring of Honor World Title match on the Rampage show. We had really not much going on SmackDown. But let's talk about the show. The first show, Rampage. We're going to talk about that. No news on Vince or anything tonight that's worth anything. So let's just talk about Vince, about Rampage, and then SmackDown. So Rampage started off with Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King versus the Dark Order's John Silver and Alex Reynolds. This match, of course, came together on Wednesday, when Hangman Adam Page was talking to Tony Schiavone about him getting taken, being eliminated by Brody King in the Battle Royal, see who's going to be the number 1 contender. And John Silver and Alex Reynolds just came up to him and said, we're going to issue a challenge to them, and you have the match here. Not much happened in this match. It was basically just Silvers and Reynolds are 2 over guys. Kings of the Black Zone, they got to assert their dominance and show you that they are the baddest motherfuckers out there. And basically they beat them, no problem. Dante's Inferno for the win. After the match, the Kings of the Black Zone are walking up the ramp when all of a sudden Darby Allin, they get to the entrance ramp, the entrance tunnel, and Darby jumps down, launching off of that onto King, attacking him. They go at it. Sting comes out as he and Black just stare each other down while the other 2 brawl. They just continue to stare. They start to walk away, walk towards the entranceways to leave, and then they come back and do another stare down. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of something here, and then they walk away, and that is that. So we get a video package of Miro, pretty much just, again, he was asking if his god sent a virus, a insect to, pretty much to send Malachi Black to stop him from winning the All-Atlantic Championship. So, obviously, we're getting very close to, it's, when Brody King and them are done with Sting and Darby, Miro is going to return, and Miro is coming after the House of Black. We get a video package taping the match between Eddie Kingston and the Painmaker. Chris Jericho, Lee Moriarty comes to the ring alongside Matt Sydal as we have ourselves a world title match, and Jonathan Gresham comes with all of Tully Blanchard's enterprises, including Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Caprice Coleman joins commentary for Jonathan Gresham versus Lee Moriarty for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. I knew this match was a really good match. I can't wait to see what comes next, but I will say I will give Lee Moriarty. Now, I said it last week, and I'll say it again. This match was not going to be, everyone, with everything that's going on Death Before Dishonor, from the Briscoes versus FTR, to Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta, to Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal, Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb, the fire that is going to be happening at this pay-per-view, this match would not have made any sense for the main event of that show. Is it fine to have here? I think it should have been the main event of this show, but it wasn't. It was the second match on the night, which, okay. I don't know why you didn't make it the main event, but okay. So we had the match here. Obviously, all great surviving. All of TBE was out there. They shake hands before the bell rings because this, of course, is the customary of the Ring of Honor is to shake hands no matter what you want to say. Yeah, match lasted 10 minutes, 10-minute title match. Back and forth to go. Of course, Lee Moriarty wants to. He has fire in him for what happened last week. He wants that revenge. He wants to take the Ring of Honor title from Jonathan Gresham after Jonathan Gresham pretty much just turned around and stabbed him in the back. Back from break, Gresham has the upper hand and delivers an arm drag to Moriarty. Moriarty fires back with a kick to Gresham's face, followed by a German suplex. Moriarty delivers a drop kick, followed by a German suplex. Goes for the pin, Gresham kicks out, hits a stomp to his face. Then goes to the pin, but Moriarty kicks out. He locks in the octopus submission, and that was enough for the tap out. And that is where we go from here. After the match, Tony Schiavone joins Blanchard and Gresham in the ring. Gresham says the fans will see his face on television all the time now because he is going to be here to out-wrestle all of our favorites. Blanchard tells him he did a fabulous job and he is the best today, if maybe not forever. Out comes Claudio Castagnoli. He comes out, he stares down Gresham. Gresham is talking trash in the ring as Claudio stays on the entrance ramp. And it has been made official later in the show. It will be Jonathan Gresham versus Claudio Castagnoli in a world title match at Death Before Dishonor. This was going to be I think tonight was supposed to be Claudio's AEW debut to get this match going, but because of the injury to Bryan Danielson, he had to be brought in to take on, he had to be brought in to do all the stuff with the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society and all that. So, my goodness, all titles that AEW are operating with Ring of Honor right now are on the line, and I do not see one bad match at all for any of these championships. You got Gresham versus Claudio. That's going to be a technical mastery. You got Jay Lethal versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's gonna kill Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal's gonna fight to the death to win that title. Serena Deeb, I fully expect to win the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. She has been putting in the work, and she should be rewarded for the first half of 2022 that she has had. The tag team titles, we even have. Oh, by the way, the tag team championship match is now a 2 out of 3 falls. They had a face-to-face with Priest Coleman, breaking bread and all this stuff, talking about everything on YouTube earlier today. These two teams face-to-face. So, Tony Khan, after that, decided to make it a 2 out of 3 falls match. I was hoping they would have went with Ladder War instead. But, I guess we'll be fine with the 2 out of 3 falls match. I just hope we don't get the first 2 falls go fast as can be so we can have a match of the year candidate in the 3rd fall. I hate when that happens. Backstage, Christopher Daniel says, it's always the best time to talk shit and how you're going to beat Samoa Joe down when Samoa Joe's not in the building or even in the same state. Beware of how powerful he is. He says, you know what? If you're going to keep, at Death Before Dishonor, Samoa Joe's going to kick your ass. But if you keep running your mouth on him before then, maybe I should come around and kick your ass. So it looks like probably next Friday or next Wednesday, we will have some Christopher Daniels versus Jay Lethal, and I think that would be fun. Chris Statlander and Athena come to the ring for their match. They take on the Renegade Twins. I have no idea what the fuck, but it was like, we got a brawl between these 4 women. The match didn't even get started. Athena and Statlander hit a double dropkick, and the Renegades trips both of them up. Statlander does, followed by a senton. Statlander gets Charlotte up on his shoulder, and Athena knocks her off the top rope. The bell finally rings, and then Athena knocks Robin down, hits the O-face, aka the Eclipse, and gets the pin in the win. In 46 seconds, this match went. What the hell was this? After the match, Layla Gray, who was sitting in the baddie section, not looking too happy, gets on the apron, gets her in Athena's face. The pair take her out. About ready it looks like they're going to hit an elevated O-face on her. Possibly. I don't know. Out comes Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan. They make quick work of Statlander and Athena, which, honestly, the beatdown just made Athena and Statlander look really stupid. Kiera Hogan comes in and just kicks, Statlander is just like, here's my knee, here's my bad knee, kick it. And Athena just walks over to fucking Jade Cargill and allows her to put her in a pump handle throw, and they just look stupid. So that's of course leading to obviously Chris Stanton has got to be the one to beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title at All Out. Back from break, Lexington is standing with Lee Moriarty and Matt Sydal. Stokely Halfley walks in, asks him what will Sydal do for him. Sydal says Moriarty doesn't need him and tells Hathaway to go away. He informs him that he has set him up with a match for like once in a lifetime opportunity next week to take on Dante Martin. Dante comes in and said it's all about love, peace, and pro wrestling. They shake hands. And that's going to happen on Friday next week, and I think that's going to be a damn good match. Could we see Lee Moriarty join Stokely Hathaway because they brought Stokely Hathaway in to be Jade Cargill's publicist, and they're already teasing tension between these two, and it's just, I don't know, it's obviously, it's like, I don't know if it's just me or what, but it just seems like Jade Cargill doesn't even want to be here half the time. Like, they'll do the whole thing backstage and everything. You just see the look on her face, and she's like, she doesn't even want to be here. She doesn't care. She's just here to make her money, and that's that. So let other people talk, and it's just like, it was real obvious on Wednesday when you just says people like take a picture of this, snap this screenshot backstage, and she just has this look of, why the fuck am I here? Why the fuck have I had these people around me? Why the fuck do I have this little midget man talking for me? When she was with Mark Sterling, at least she had somebody who, she had someone who could talk for her, and she won the TBS title and was getting quote-unquote competition. Now it's just, here's a bunch of jobbers for her to beat. Moving on here, we had the Gun Club, who will explain why they turned on the Acclaim. Shivani stands in the ring. They asked why they turned on the Acclaim last week. Billy says that he treated them like his own kids, but he actually treated them better than his kids. But that sometimes Daddy had to drop the hammer. Out come the Acclaim. They come to the ring. Casanova does not have the mic, and the two are looking to fight. They enter the ring. Billy tells them, you know what? I know how we can settle this, and we can go separate ways after that. Scissor me, daddy ass. And he gets super kicked. They take out the Gun Club to the outside. Caster grabs the mic, cuts a rap on the Gun Club. Acclaim challenge them to a match right now in Savannah, but the Gun Club say no. So that match is probably going to happen on Rampage as well next week. Excalibur runs down the card for Fighter Fest Night 3 and next week on Wednesday, followed by Death Before the Sun on July 23rd in Lowell, Massachusetts. Private Party then comes to the ring alongside Andrade El Idolo and Jose and the Lucha Bros alongside Alex Ambrihantes. So, this was a fun match. Now, they did mention the last time these two teams actually met in a 2-on-2 match was all the way back in 2019. Back when we had the tag team title tournament that determined the first ever tag team champions. Yeah, these two teams faced each other. And if I'm correct, the Lucha Bros did win, obviously. But, obviously, we have things changed. We have Private Party who have absolutely... You look at Private Party and it's like, man... You see, these two guys, so much wasted potential. I know What Culture just did a 10 things that failed in 10 things that have failed in AEW since they started. They didn't put anywhere Private Party teaming up with Matt Hardy in the Matt Hardy family office. Now, when Private Party was put with Matt Hardy back in 2020, I think it was 2020, I was like, man, this is going to be a good thing. I think it was maybe the end of 2019, maybe. No, 2020. It was definitely 2020. I was like, this could be a good thing for these guys. They're young. They're hungry. They're having one of the best minds of tag team wrestling in the last 30 years as their mentor. What could possibly go wrong? Everything went wrong. They got their music changed. They became heels. They stopped wrestling in gear half the time. Half the time they were wrestling in suits and dress clothes, which was fucking stupid. They were losing all the time. They looked like jokes half the time. They did absolutely fucking nothing. It's like, why? What happened? What happened to Private Party? Like, if it would have just stayed Matt Hardy and Private Party, I think they would have been a lot better. But then Tony threw the Butcher and the Blade, TH2 in there, made it a big, huge fucking faction so everybody can have TV time, and it literally killed any potential that Private Party had to be anything. They just became fighting Matt Hardy's battles and becoming absolutely just a waste of time. And now here they are facing the Lucha Bros because Andrade's apparently injured after his match with Rey Fenix, which I'm not surprised. Those two went out there and killed it. But it's probably another one of those injuries that's minor because he was there tonight. And I know that a lot of the guys, men and women out there, the guys on there who are injured, aren't going to be on TV with their injuries. So whatever Andrade had, it obviously is not too bad. I do know that Bobby Fish did make his return from injury on the Dark Elevation tapings on Wednesday, so that's a good thing. Starting to get those bodies to come back, which is good. But yeah, we had this match here, and it's like, I want to get into it. It should be a great match, but it's like I said before, it's like they spent the last 2 years literally killing any interest in Private Party with the whole AFO, or the whole not Hardy the Hardy family, HFO, AHFO, AFO, that entire thing. I just don't care about Private Party. I heard JD from New York talk about Private Party all the time when they were in House of Glory. And when they came to AEW, I was like so excited to see this young tag team that was handpicked by the Young Bucks. They were hand-chosen by the Young Bucks to be in All Elite Wrestling. And they spent the last 2.5 years just killing these guys to the point where they're so irrelevant. Having a match with the Lucha Bros, which 2 years ago would have been like, this is going to be a banger too. Who cares? Lucha Bros are obviously going to win, so who gives a shit? It's like, I don't know what's going to happen with Private Party, if they're going to be renewed with their contracts coming up, which I'm sure they were renewed because they were signed, I think, relatively early on in 2019. But man, it sucks that these guys have had what they've had happen to them because they should be a lot better off in AEW. They could have been, I don't say winning tag team title gold, but like challenging for tag team title gold and being up there in the upper echelon of tag team wrestling. I mean, they've been here since year one, and have not even sniffed the world tag team titles yet. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland got here back in March and what was it? March and Full Gear, I believe it was, or whatever. And like they haven't even been here a year yet, either one of them, and they're the World Tag Team Champions. Whereas Private Party have been just twiddling their thumbs and catering for the last few months, working on Dark and Dark Elevation only, and they should be doing better. I'm just saying. Now, this match had a lot of fuckery in it. Of course, Jose tried to get involved. Alex got involved to stop him. Andrade distracted. Roosh came out to try and help Private Party. He throws Quinn into a Canadian Destroyer, then tags in Phoenix. Phoenix hits the Blackfire Driver. 1, 2, 3, and the Lucha Bros pick up the win. There's a part of me who just wants to sit here and go, I wish the show was live every week. I really do. The Ring of Honor World Title match was 10 minutes. It was fine. The women's match, I don't know what the fuck that was even about. Why did you even do that? You could have just had them, if you really wanted to, you could have just had Athena and Chris Statlander come to the ring like they were coming to the ring for a match. Have Kiera Hogan and Jade Cargill beat them down on the ramp, and you would have got the same effect. You wasted our time on 46 seconds for no goddamn reason. Let's move over to SmackDown. This show sucks. Now, I will say the show did open up pretty well because you had Michael Cole in the middle of the ring. He introduces a man who recently re-signed for a long time, who's going to be his partner for the next whatever years. He brings out Pat Mcafee, takes a position on commentary, so McAfee grabs the mic and he apologized to the WWE Universe for making him listen to Corey Graves for 2 hours last week, and Happy Corbin on commentary. He then points to video packs that show Corbin attacking him at Money in the Bank, which of course led to him missing last week's show, which good on WWE. Pat McAfee knows how to sell an injury. The dude went to the UFC event with a neck brace. I believe the next Monday on his show he wore a neck brace. The dude knows how to commit to the bit. A lot of these guys, men and women out there, don't know how to do that. He tells the fans his neck was only bruised and they shouldn't worry. He goes on to say he remembers being roommates with Corbin while they were both rookies on the Indianapolis Colts. He says he remembered him being humble, but as soon as he got to WWE, he became an arrogant douchebag. He says at SummerSlam he will humble him and make him back to being a good man. I absolutely doubt it. Corbin appears on the Titan trying to tell McAfee that constantly runs in his mouth. He says he will come to the ring and shows the bruises on his arm and says he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know what it is. It could be monkeypox or something. I'm like, are we really doing this? We got a COVID joke last week, which I'm not the biggest, like, take COVID serious type guy, but it's like, I don't think people should be joking about anything. You shouldn't be joking about the flu, the COVID, monkeypox, any type of ailment. You should not be making jokes about it, but here's WWE 2 weeks in a row joking about a disease that could get somebody sick or possibly die. WWE comedy for you. Now, McAfee says he's staying away from everyone because he doesn't want to catch whatever they have. So it's like WWE is like the way the heel gets heated, he's had to say that you guys smell or you guys have diseases. That's exactly what that was. But he'll see him at SummerSlam. McAfee says the real reason he isn't coming out here is because he's actually afraid of greatness. He's actually afraid and he's allergic to being great. And then he gives Liv Morgan the greatest, probably one of the best epic introductions of her entire career, saying she changed the career of her life and her family. Miss Money in the Bank, this new SmackDown Women's Champion, Liv Morgan. He did a way better job. I'm like, this dude can cut a promo. This dude can wrestle. This guy's a hoot on commentary. This guy could be a ring introduction. He can do ring introductions. What can't Pat McAfee fucking do? He has one of the most popular podcasts on the YouTube platform. What can this guy not fucking do? Put this guy in charge of WWE. I'm begging you. So it's Liv Morgan versus Natalya championship contenders match. I absolutely hate championship contender matches from AEW and WWE. Just because your champion is wrestling a match doesn't mean it needs to be a championship contender or an eliminator match. Give me a fucking break, dudes. Seriously, give me a break. Liv Morgan wins this match with the Oblivion. Here, I've noticed something here. It's like, if it's a match with the women's champion, the match gets 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes max, usually. If it's anybody else in the women's division, it's a 3-minute long match. This match got 10 minutes, and I believe it got a commercial break as well. Yet, if this would have been Natalya versus Liv and Liv wasn't the champion, this match would have got 3 minutes. Even Ronda Rousey in street clothes last week had a match with Natalya that went 2.5 to 3 minutes long. That just tells you how much WWE actually cares about the women's division. Morgan hits the Oblivion after the ending sequence was great because Natalya had her in the ankle lock, as did Ronda Rousey, they mentioned at Money in the Bank. And Morgan is trying to escape. She eventually sends her into the middle of the turnbuckle. She turns around, gets hit with the code breaker, bounces off to the ring, and Liv hits the Oblivion 1, 2, 3 to pick up the win. So the ending sequence of this match was absolutely great. After the break, Kayla Braxton joins her in the ring and says she noticed her victory tonight wasn't as dominant as the one Rousey had last week. And yeah, obviously, they're obviously pushing this that, look, Natalya lost to Ronda Rousey last week in very quick fashion, but tonight she actually came close to putting you away. So obviously Ronda Rousey's the much better competitor than Liv Morgan. That's what they're telling you, is that there's no fucking way Liv Morgan's walking out of SummerSlam as the women's champion. And if Charlotte doesn't return, that's the case. She's not going to walk out. But if Charlotte returns at SummerSlam and takes out both women and gets the match thrown out, Liv Morgan will be women's champion coming out of SummerSlam. Just saying. Backstage, Mackenzie Mitchell is with Austin Theory. He says that it's hard for him to be him, and with great power comes great responsibility. Paul Heyman walks in and sends Mitchell away after saying, you're doing a great job. Much better than Kayla. He shakes Theory's hand and says it doesn't make business sense for him to cash in a contract on Roman Reigns. He invites him to work with him. Instead of saying he will give him a title shot if he doesn't cash in his briefcase, Theory says that he is planning on cashing a contract no matter what and no matter who it is. It's time for the Children's Hour! As the Viking Raiders music hits, out comes Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston cosplaying as the Raiders. Give me a break, I'm done with this already. They come out, they pretend to be the Raiders, they have they have a little bit of fun. Out come the Viking Raiders to say they're going to destroy these guys. They go to fight them. Shanky gets involved, allowing the New Day to get the upper hand. That's all you need to see. Kayla Braxton stands by Walter and Ludwig and Marcel Barthel. She points to the video of the events last week after Barthel match with Shinsuke Nakamura, then asked why he attacked him, why Walter attacked him. He says it's because there's no room for failure. He tells him that losing is unacceptable, not to be tolerated. And then they're informed that next week there's going to be a rematch between Marcel Barthel and Shinsuke Nakamura. Barthel is not happy about this, and he's being insubordinate, so Walter tells him to pull the zipper down. He does, slowly does, so Walter does himself. Slaps him, his chest, and he falls down, just clutching his chest. And the look on Kayla Braxton's face is like the look that everybody would have if they were standing by Walter when he would chop somebody like that. Please tell me we're not getting a split between these two. Please tell me we're not getting a split between these two. Please tell me we're not getting a split between these two. We're getting a split between these two, aren't we? It's going to be one of those things where Marcel Barthel gets so aggravated. He's like, I'm getting whipped by this guy every time I turn around, and I'm not taking anymore, and he's going to fight him. He's going to get killed by him, and that is that. Aaliyah comes to the ring. She's supposed to take on Lacey Evans. Of course, last week Lacey Evans turned heel, which she should have never been anything but heel. And took her out last week, so she's supposed to have a match this week. She comes out, we get the same video package about, oh, I'm a war hero, I went through all this traumatic stuff, you're supposed to love me, you're supposed to feel sorry for me. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody's gonna fucking care about you, Lacey Evans. So she refuses to wrestle and walks away. Drew McIntyre comes to the ring. It's supposed to be him versus Sheamus. Pete Dunne gets a hold of the ring bell for whatever reason. Sheamus stops him from using this. And then, because Rich Holland's still in the ring, Sheamus and Pete Dunne are outside. Pete Dunne rings the bell. And the match gets officially started. Like, what? So, we're getting Rich Holland versus Drew McIntyre. And apparently, anybody can ring the bell and the match becomes official. That just was so stupid. The match lasted about maybe 5 minutes. White noise, Claymore kick, 10 beats of the Baldwin. Just all the greatest hits of Sheamus plus the Claymore. Obviously, this match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus is going to happen at SummerSlam. It's where it should have been named already, and that's where we're going to get that. We get Theory coming to the ring, and then we go to commercial break and video package recapping the events between Brock Lesnar, Austin Theory, and Alpha Academy last week on Raw, where they buried Alpha Academy. Mackenzie Mitchell stands with Madcap Moss and asks him strategy for his match with Theory. Moss says that he's planning to flatten his big head. Paul Heyman walks up and compliments her again, but tells her to leave. He says that if he takes out Theory before SummerSlam, he will give him an undisputed title match against Roman Reigns. Moss tells him that must be worried about Theory cashing in SummerSlam, then heads to the ring. So we get this match here, and it was okay. I love the fact that, during the match, I think it was Michael Cole said that we're looking at the future of WWE in these two men. Madcap Moss has been, in WWE for 5, 6, 7, 8 years? Not really the future. I don't know. Just like somebody on social media tried to say that WWE doesn't build new stars while they're sitting there, talking. They bring up Matt Riddle and Austin Theory and the Usos. And I'm like, the Usos have been stars on this roster for 12 fucking years. They made their debut back in, I believe, 2010. I'm pretty sure. Right after the tag team titles were unified back then, they made their debut taking out the Clones. The future of WWE is not in the hands of the Usos. The Usos are the here and now. Who's going to take over for the Usos when they're done? Theory goes to the timekeeper's area, hits Moss with the Money in the Bank briefcase. The referee squalls the event, Manhunt gets the win. I fell asleep. SmackDown's so fucking boring. Theory says he doesn't care since he's still Mr. Money in the Bank, which is what you usually see with the Money in the Bank briefcase holders, that they continue to lose they continue to lose matches week after week after week. Sami Zayn comes to the ring and tells Theory that he is disrespecting the bloodline and that he has serious consequences for those who do. He stands at the top of the ramp and says that he's a representative of the bloodline. He should apologize. Theory asks Zayn what he will do with one arm, and the Usos music hits. Theory retreats, and they come to the ring. He bumps the Madcap Moss and he throws him back into the ring post. Commentary runs down the card for next week's SmackDown, including Brock Lesnar return to the Blue Ranch. Sami Zayn joins commentary. And then you have Angelo Dawkins versus Jimmy Uso. If you've seen one Jimmy Uso or Uso versus Angelo Dawkins match, you've seen them all. There's nothing special about this except Sami Zayn was on commentary. But we get another controversial finish because you have the Pearl Liver Plunge hit by Dawkins. He goes to pin. We had a ref bump. Of course we did. And both guys try to get sneaky roll-ups, but the referee's dead. Dawkins hits his finish, goes to get the pin. The ref finally gets up. It's Charles Robinson, of course. And obviously, Jimmy's arm, right shoulder, is under Dawkins' foot. So, ref counts 1, 2, 3, and Dawkins is given the win. Obviously, there's controversy. And we find out that the special guest referee is going to be J-E-F-F-J-A-E-T-T-A-J Jeff Jarrett, for whatever reason. So these two teams obviously are not happy about this and decide to brawl and beat the shit out of each other until the show goes off the air. And that's how SmackDown went off the air. No Roman, nothing special, do not care, SmackDown sucks. I wish they just would have said, you know what, when Ridge Holland got beat, Drew gets the microphone and says, you know what, you're ducking me too much. How about we do this match at SummerSlam? And just have the match accepted at SummerSlam, and we get the match between these two at SummerSlam with the winner going to Clash at the Castle to go on to face Roman Reigns. Obviously, that should be Drew McIntyre, but they could throw a curveball and give us Sheamus. Who knows? But yeah, SmackDown sucks. Rampage was okay. Was fine. Rampage was fine. It's so much harder to get into a Rampage when it's a tape show, when you can sit there and just read the spoilers. But that is your SmackDown and Rampage review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the Frowns Club. Find me on twitch.tv/thefrowns club, and find me on Instagram at the Frowns Club. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Wednesday night AEW on TBS. And when Ring of Honor gets started, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Until then, my name is the Frowns, and I'll see you guys later.